hello, and welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, tell a friend. Join us in the live chat. And if you can't make it, we understand because people have actual lives and have gone back to work. Hit us up with comments below because you know, and we always look at our comments to see what you've said. All right, on the dockets today, we've got Real Housewives, Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3, Episode 3, which is called Don't Rock the Boat, and Episode 4, Dangerous Games. Okay. This is making me really tired because I think it's like nonstop arguments over stuff I was interested when they were on the real shows.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. The reason why this stuff is coming up now is because these ladies are new to each other and don't have the history, which I do like that. But I'm gonna say this: this show has really exposed Heather, and I want her and Leah to go home because they both get on my nerves for different reasons. People who don't know you should not be able to pick up on your lies so soon. She lying everywhere, and everyone's like catching on to it. I'm like, ma'am, you sitting up here trying to people please and lie, and it really doesn't work. You have to be good at it, and she sucks. And they like, I think Giselle called her out on her hypocrisy. Portia was looking at her while they were talking in like episode 4. We'll get to that, and she looked at her like, what? Uh-uh. And Whitney sitting up there exposing Heather. I'm like, dude, I get it now. I get it because, like I said before, I saw all the hate for Heather on Twitter. I'm like, why y'all hating on her? She was like a fan favorite. I liked her. And then when you just by Ultimate Girls Trip, because I didn't watch the season, didn't care. But watching this, I'm like, I see why people can't stand you now because you were running around here lying and trying to cover your tracks. And I'm gonna say this: I'm Team Whitney simply because Heather sat up there and accused Whitney of lying. Because Whitney was crying, she's like, I just needed Heather to be there for me in that moment. And Heather's like, to lie. And she's like, no, I didn't need you to do that. I just need you to be there. But you sitting up here writing hard for Jen Shaw. I'm so, you gonna sit there call your cousin a lie and land-based her, talk about her because you call her a liar, but you sitting up here, Jen Shaw and lied all over the place. She been lying since we both got on the show. She lied about Shaw Chalet. She lied about the closing her closet. She been lying this whole time, but that's your girl, and you gonna ride with her right straight through to the clink clink. Okay. Bet you Heather's already put money on Jen's books so she can get that high class cafe au lait coffee with the good international creamer. Oh, Heather works my nerve.
Honestly, I can't stand stormy weather, bad weather, whatever their nickname is. I don't like either one of them. They're kind of like wah wah wah. This particular season for me, I think they're annoying. I don't care whether you're talking to each other or not. I don't care who punched out Heather.
I do. Sorry.
I don't.
I just want to know who did it.
I think both of them are lying and both of them are social climbers. And what's sad is that they thought that what worked in Salt Lake City, they could actually come into this and do the same foolishness.
And that's a
And
damn
what
shame for
they
them.
should have done is that instead of fighting each other and allowing the other ladies to divide and conquer, they have started they should have been ganging up to get the others. And they played it all
Right.
wrong. And I'm just so disappointed in their stupidity. Because if you look at it, right, you've got all of the pairs. You've got Portia and Giselle that have paired off. You've got Candace and Leah unsuspectingly paired off. You've got the Miami Dudas that are paired off. and you two are from Salt Lake City, and you two are supposedly family, and you two couldn't get over your stupidness and come together in this and be a pair. You've allowed others to divide you. Over what? I don't even know, and I don't even care. They are annoying, annoying.
And my
And,
thing,
Black Lavender says, well, hi, Black Lavender. Hi, Auntie. Black Lavender says, I'm so sick of hearing about Heather and Whitney boring Mormon drama. Agreed. Agreed.
the thing with them is this, and this just shows their lack of maturity and understanding of the Housewives game. Y'all know
Mhm.
how Potomac, Miami, and Atlanta play. They play for keeps. Y'all knew coming in you were at a disadvantage, but yet, like you said, instead of just putting that BS to the side and wait
Mhm.
till y'all get back home, y'all brought that to the show thinking it was going to actually make you interesting. And what it's done is made your situation even worse. Because we know
They're not
Heather's lying.
appealing. They're not appealing, they're not interesting. And I feel like
Well,
this ultimate girls trip opportunity is an opportunity for these ladies so that they can show a different side of themselves and draw eyes to their franchise. If I had never watched Salt Lake City and I saw these two bobos, I would never watch it
no.
because you're not appealing as characters. And do I want to see this when we go back to Salt Lake City? No, I'm not watching you.
And
Massive
Heather with
fail.
her, Heather with her dumbass. Yes, I use the word dumbass. Told on herself in episode 4. I'm sitting here like you. You know what? I used to give you credit as a businesswoman and that you were smart. You were so stupid with what you said in that confessional.
I'm irritated with her confessional dress. Do they not change dresses here? Like it's a folded napkin. It's origami. Like I don't and it looks bad. Like everybody else looks great in their confessional except Heather. So I don't really listen to what she says in her confessionals. Sorry. Ugh.
Ryan, yes, Lisa Barlow would have been much more interesting. I'm sitting here mad. Like, okay, when I'm watching them, right? I'm
Mhm.
like, I sit here like this, like, you know what? Y'all gave us Heather and Whitney when we could have had Meredith and Lisa Barlow. Could you have imagined those two with Giselle, suntan investigations, and Portia?
No, she was a suntan Barbie?
Suntan Sleuth.
Then what was she with Barbie?
It wasn't Barbie. I think Barbie by mistake. It was the Suntan Sleuth. That's what Giselle
No,
called
she said
herself.
no, she called herself something suntan when she was coming back from the pool and Portia was in her pajamas before the Thai massage and she called herself suntan Barbie. And then what's her name called her? Portia said, "You a black white woman." I gotta look through it again.
We had to go
Never mind.
through it. But yeah, those two, like pretty much, like if you notice, their stupidity has dominated most of these episodes so far, which is why we're spending a little bit more time on them because there is a
But
lot to unpack. Because I am gonna skip ahead to episode 4 since we're talking about them.
but
Because
wait, no, no, no.
go
Let's
ahead,
let's
go
just
ahead.
get over with this nonsense because basically
Okay,
they open up still at the girly boy lady boy dinner. They finish that argument. So then they go on the boat ride. Let's just discuss the boat ride. This is
okay.
Marisol's.
No,
No, this is
Alexia.
Alexia's event. She wanted to give them Miami in Phuket. Okay. Okay, wait. It's Sunshine Barbie. That's what Giselle called herself.
Okay,
Oh my god, why did I put down no, Suntan Barbie.
okay.
Suntan, because it came out as Satan Barbie. Oh Jesus. my
Oh,
my
okay.
audio notes are so bad because I dictate into my phone. And
Right.
it's Satan Barbie. It's Giselle, aka Satan Barbie. Oh Jesus.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just it might have been right, but no, it's suntan Barbie. Whoa, whoa. What did you think about okay? Giselle and Portia got together to go after Leah. And an alliance was formed that I was not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
It was hinted at before, but it was really formed on that boat between Candace and Leah.
Right.
Because I what exactly did Leah do to Giselle and Portia?
Nothing. They were just saying, like, Leah said that Alexia's story was boring, and they're like, and they took to their point. They had a point, but they
Mhm.
didn't express it the right way. Leah does act like she doesn't want to be there, and she's not really
Mhm.
interested into getting to know anyone. So they have a point, but the
Mhm.
way they went about expressing that point was not good. So it comes across as them ganging up on her, but
Mhm.
they're just expressing, like, hey, like, this is how we see it. This is how we see you not want to be here. So why are you here?
There I thought that that was an inappropriate question asking her why is she there? Cuz we all know why she's there. Fucking production hired her to be there. Boo
Right.
boo. So stop asking me why I'm here.
Exactly.
And then, you know, they were like, "Oh, we don't want to hear that you on your period or nothing like that." Really? Really? Okay. The only one who was honest about it was Marisol saying, "Thank God I don't got to deal with that no more." Um, Giselle, are you in the same boat and jealous that you don't have a period no more? Just asking for a friend. I don't know. I felt like that whole boat trip, like Marisol and Alexia lost control of the boat trip and allowed Portia and Giselle to ruin it for everyone else, including myself, who wanted to see all of the food, all of the maracas, and all of that stuff that they brought on there. Like, Alexia, you're a bad host because when you were hosting at your apartment, you was quick to be yelling at Adriana, at Nicole, at everybody in your house and ruining that event. But you let others ruin this event. Like what? I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, go away! Stop calling. Um, I just thought the boat was a disaster, a total freaking disaster. And Portia was right. Housewives do not have any luck on boats, and production was so shady to bring up the first piece of footage was Cynthia kicking her in her belly on
Yep.
the phone. But yeah, I didn't like the gang up. Leah Leah going upstairs and taking selfies in the hot tub while they were still downstairs arguing about her. I thought that was cute.
That was hilarious.
Ah! But yeah, boat ride, it was a disaster. Let's see. They come back to oh, what did you think about Leah calling Giselle neck in her confessional?
I was like, you know what? That's
Oh
not for
my
you.
god. But this is like the connection between Candace and Leah continues afterwards because like Candace is giving her background on Giselle and how she behaves, um, how she handles it, what she did wrong, because she says she shouldn't have walked away on the boat. Like never
Hmm.
turn your back on them. Stay and fight till the end,
Hmm.
and don't cave in. Like she was giving her best tips. I kind of
Right.
like that. Because if all y'all bitches gonna be doing is screaming and hollering and fighting all the time, get some tips. Get
And don't
some
take it
tips.
personal.
Yeah, yeah. What is the next event? I think we end off this day with them getting ready for the next event, but honestly, I can't remember what it is. Pepsi. Pepsi is a hot mess. Pepsi went with them to the boat. Pepsi I feel like Pepsi is used to not just cleaning up that villa, but cleaning up messes that happen other than spilled wine. Mm. Pepsi know where the bodies are buried.
Pretty
But yeah,
much.
that was it for episode 3. It was just very loud and annoying. And then episode 4, wait, hold on. Okay, so episode 4 is the next day, right? And this is
Yes,
this is Portia's
this is her
day.
day. This is Portia's day. Yes.
Okay. But it kind of got derailed by the rain because they were supposed to be going somewhere, but instead they got the Thai massages, they did the game, and they had the queue, the Thai barbecue, right?
Hmm.
Um, but Giselle is so salty. Giselle was like, I could tell you who knows the least about Portia's event. Portia. Child. Portia just showed up for a vacation and a check.
Right.
Mm. Um. Oh my God, how they opened up episode 4 was epic. Wives of Days of Our Wives.
Yeah, that was good. That was good because Candace said there's only one difference between daytime television and the Real Housewife, and that's a script. And when they did that opening days of our what, I hollered. That was so good.
Portia at the end with the fake crying. That was
Yeah,
hilarious. That was hilarious. Awesome job, production and editing. Awesome job. Um, and Candace is waiting for her Emmy. So there you go. Da, 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 da. Okay, so it's the morning. Heather, Leah, Marisol, and Alexia are at breakfast. Um, and they're like checking with each other to see if they're okay. And Leah talks about having the runs. Is this the beginning of her getting sick now? Oh
something
my
like that.
God. Um, Leah lets Heather know that Whitney told her to be careful, to watch out for Heather. Oops. Um, Portia and Portia joins the table and tells them that their real event got swapped out for the Thai massages. Let's see. This is where we see Whitney in her room on a call with Lisa Barlow. I think I just don't care about anyone from Salt Lake City. I know that y'all are like, it would have been better if Meredith and Lisa Barlow were there.
It would have been for sure.
I don't care because they would have been arguing with themselves about their failed tenure
Mm-mm. I
relationship,
don't.
and I wouldn't have cared.
I don't think so. And here's why. Here's why. It's because those two are smart enough to understand the situation that they're in. They would have tabled their little issues about their friendship and stayed as a duo.
I don't know.
And Meredith is a whole lawyer, and and Lisa Barlow don't cook, and she's a businesswoman. So yeah, it would have been better with those two because they would have played the game way better. These two, here's my opinion, and I'm this may upset some people. I really feel it's on the same vein as your thoughts.
Hi,
They came
Stephanie.
into it looking for individual notoriety. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't about bringing eyes to Salt Lake City as a whole. It was about them and making themselves look good.
Yeah.
That's where they fell apart.
They lost me. They really lost me. But this is a part that is next that came up that you were referencing before, where Portia was counseling Heather about being like a woman of faith and that she could offer her grace, especially considering that she's her cousin. And then Heather says something and Portia was like, "What? That don't make sense." So you go ahead and because by this time I stopped listening to Heather.
Shut up.
I did.
Okay, so basically, what it was is they were arguing,
Mhm.
and so they were arguing back and forth, calling each other a liar, yes, well, yada yada yada. The problem with Heather is this. This is what I feel she told on herself in the confessional because they were playing the game. I want to say they were playing. Was it Portia's game? Because yes, because Portia asked her. Her question was, "Who gave you that black eye?" And
Mhm.
Heather ate the scorpion. And
Uh-huh.
Heather's like, they really want to know who gave me the black eye. They have it all figured out. Yes. Jen punched me in the face because I told her I was a secret informant. I'm like, hold up. Wasn't nobody talking about you being a secret informant. We were talking about you being stupid. How did, where did that come from? Because I had not seen that theory floating out anywhere. Everyone's been saying it was either Lisa Barlow or Meredith that dimed Jen out. But no one was talking about you.
But it
No one
would
was
make
talking.
the most logical sense because she can't keep her fat mouth shut.
True. True.
So
But I'm
that
just
might have
but,
been the first time that Heather told the truth
but
ever in
which is why
life.
I say she told on herself. I'm like, wait a minute. Why even put that out there? Uh,
Mhm.
uh.
It makes
And
no
here's the
sense.
thing. If Jen
Mhm.
didn't punch you in the eye, why not just say she didn't punch me in the eye?
Because she's going between I don't know what happened and I'm just staying quiet as if she's protecting somebody and nobody cares.
Right.
Stephanie, hey Stephanie, long time no see. Stephanie says watching
Stephanie!
Heather and Whitney is cringe on this show. They are too starstruck. Agreed. Um, it's always Portia or Giselle's game. And if you notice,
Yes.
they never have to play their own games. Deflection at its fine. Yeah. Yep. Or they do the softball toss to each other and everybody else they drill down on. So it's just pathetic. Never heard that theory. Yep. Allegedly, Heather is worse to production. Uh-huh. I wouldn't doubt
Oh,
it.
well, I wouldn't doubt it.
Um, Leah says that she has a special connection with Candace because she's an independent thinker and basically not a like I guess she perceives the other women as followers. But let's get over to these massages. Let's get over to these massages. Some women come out naked, well, not naked, but in a towel, and some people are in their full on pajamas, but then want to get
Hmm.
naked. It was just weird. Like you could have came in a bathing suit to get your
Right.
thing. Like who comes downstairs in a long sleeve and a long pants pajamas to get a massage and it's your event, Portia? Whatever. So annoying. The noises that were being made, interesting. And then we see a little snippet. Marisol, when you make an offering at a temple, you don't go back and take it back. That's why your belly hurting, Marisol. Hmm. Giselle, okay, this scene with Giselle and Heather after the massages. Giselle was actually getting Heather to call Jen Shaw. And
That was hilarious.
Giselle was like, it's a good thing Jen didn't pick up the phone because I would have asked more questions than Homeland Security. Oh my God. Jen Shaw ain't pick up the phone because y'all ain't paying her to, unlike Lisa Barlow, who y'all
Right.
had to pay to call Whitney and make Whitney relevant. Because if Whitney and Heather were giving any good content, trust me, they wouldn't have had to call in Lisa Barlow. Oh my god.
Exactly.
The Stephanie, so very true. Massages, noises, and bird sounds. Oh god. People saying that Marisol is acting drunk when she's not. Look, she's a PR woman through and through. And if somebody was drinking as much as she was, they wouldn't be able to function, especially at her size, because she's very small, very
Hmm.
thin. Like she would be passed out, honestly. Um, then we go to the barbecue. People just complained about everything, but I thought it was cute. Candace and Portia talking about what type of oysters they like. Anything else happen? Oh, at the barbecue. Oh, Jesus. Candace gets back into her origami and gets her napkin together and starts blubbering to Portia. And Portia's like, either Candace is screaming at you or crying at you. It's just like, ugh. She didn't seem bothered. She was like, I'm being a journalist and I'm reporting what was told to me. Marisol was so good saying it's not like a real news job you have, it's like a fluff entertainment show. Um, which is true. Yay Marisol for getting it into context, what that stupid show is. But her fight with Portia then turned to her fight with Giselle, because Giselle's like, I had your back during that discussion. Candace was like, okay, so Monique got to give her statement on how things happen through her
Right.
mouthpiece, Portia, but that wasn't offered to me. But Giselle's like, but I had your back. I was sticking up for you. And she's like, but it's not the same. What are your thoughts on that? Is it the same? Isn't it the same?
So here's the thing. I don't think Portia was coming from a place of being a friend to Monique. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like Monique asked Portia to go on the show and like give her statement. That wasn't the case. What it is, what Candace is really trying to say is like, I didn't have a platform to say my side.
Mm-hmm.
Giselle, I understood Giselle's point of view to a degree because she said, well, you know, Portia was speaking from Monique, but I didn't let that go down. I didn't let that go down. I was speaking up for you. But
Mm-hmm.
then Candace said, basically turned into Candace saying, no, it's not the same because I wanted to speak for myself. But Candace, in this situation, that's not the correct parallel. The correct parallel actually is Giselle's point of view because Giselle was speaking on your behalf the same way Portia was speaking on Monique's behalf. Those
Okay.
are the equal. That's the equal parallel.
Here's the thing. Stephanie says that she's siding with Candace, but it was said during this argument, but everybody was just a little bit loud, and I think it got lost in the sauce. Someone said that Candace was playing by contractual rules. Remember, Monique had quit. Monique
Hmm.
had quit, and she was no longer under contract with Bravo or production company or whoever, so she could say
Hmm.
whatever she want to whoever she want, and production probably put a gag order on Candace.
Right.
And then we don't know what litigation was going on at that time, because who can remember that far back? But if there's any litigation going on, neither party can really say anything, you know. But if we just leave it up to production, who is still under contract and who isn't? Candace, if you were still under contract, your hands are tied. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
shocked that they allowed, because I feel they allowed Giselle to argue that point, just basically because she wasn't one of the actual physical combatants. But that was a segment on that show that was cleared by Bravo and the production company, and Portia was told what to say and how to say it. Because if you remember, when they were going back and forth, Portia was talking about liability and like all of these legal terms that we don't expect Portia the Williams talking about, furthermore understanding. But she got a rundown on what she was saying to cover her ass
Right.
legally in that part. And I'm sure the same was said to Giselle for her to stand up and defend Candace,
Right.
because Candace technically could not say anything. So it's a catch 22, and I think it was dumb for Candace to bring that up to start her origami projects yet again. I'm so sick of those stupid napkin things.
But Portia's airplane in the confessional though, I'm like, are you serious?
But Portia, when she was saying, she got out her origami and she was like, I'm not letting a tear get past my cheekbones. I was dying.
I was like, you know what? I was
Oh
like, but
my
that
god.
thing was a whole airplane though. I'm like, oh my,
A whole
Portia,
airplane. Whole airplane.
whole airplane
Oh my
fly
god.
fly from one cheek to the next. Oh my goodness, it was
Mhm.
insane.
I don't know.
But
Oh,
yeah,
but did you hear Portia say that she has a whole journalism job? Where?
yeah.
Where? God bless Marisol. This is why I don't think Marisol be drunk. But then again, she says she hasn't been drinking as much because her belly hurting. But yeah, but still. Oh, you think she got an ulcer?
I can imagine.
What is she stressing about? She don't eat. Oh my god. Anywho.
But it's just very interesting at with Candace because there are times where I agree with Candace. I do.
Mhm,
Actually with all the ladies, I can see their points of view, which I
mhm,
enjoy.
mhm,
But with Candace, here the thing is, you you can't be mad at Portia because you
mhm,
when they rolled the clip, Portia said Monique allegedly said, or what however she put it, that she thinks it's a cash grab. Portia didn't report it as fact. She was just saying what Monique told her, and these are Monique's thoughts. I'm like, well, people have been talking about your mama and paying your bills for a whole minute, so you know that shouldn't even been a thing. And also, Portia is on a show to give her opinion. You
mhm.
cannot get mad at her, like, cause she was like, what you said, like I didn't know you and you didn't know me. It's like, Candace, people don't have to know you to give their opinion. And this is where I have an issue with some Bravo celebrities. You can't use that argument for only for when people like have a different opinion from yours and disagree with you. Because you don't say anything to the people who agree with you. They don't know you,
Yeah.
but they're sticking up for you. Are you gonna say the same thing to them? No.
It's a fine
Push.
line.
Mm-hmm.
It's it and yeah, you just can't pick and choose. I agree. Like, oh, never mind. I will never understand what she went through. I know it was tough. She did have a point, like the social media backlash onto her. But
Yeah.
I would have just looked at the people who said, "My God, who did your wig?" Because it stayed on when you got dragged. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was like a physics experiment right there. Amazing. She should have did a Candy Burris. I think you had said it at the time and turned around and like sold the hair or something, or the
The hair
technique
and the
for
hair
sewing
glue
in.
or
Yes.
whatever.
She should have done that. She would have been on Candy Burris level right now. But oh well. So they finished lunch. And so it's time for the games. And so Portia pairs up everybody because it seems like the majority of them are pairs from their franchises. But then it comes down to her because she's the only person from Atlanta and Leah, the only person from New York. And so she says, well, you know how celebrities get that nickname? And I nicknamed us Leah?
Poor Leah.
Yes. And Leah takes it personally. I loved Marisol. Marisol's like, oh, we don't want to put that into existence. Um, but Leah is like, Portia has something against me and she's taking it personal. Whatever. The first game is tack raw and it's kind of like Thai volleyball, but she makes them put on elephant suits in order to play. Portia is uber competitive. Candace is not. What if the ball hits my nails? What if I break a nail? Oh, heaven forbid. Okay. Anywho, they play that. Portia's team wins. Game 2. It's called Tiny Hands. They got this from Saturday Night Live because I swear I used to see these tiny hands on Saturday Night Live. One housewife has to stand up behind a seated housewife who's at a table with a plate of food in front of them. The housewife that is in the back with the tiny hands has to feed the housewife that is seated, and whoever consumes the most food per the Pepsi scale wins. So, who was the first? Oh, in 60 seconds. So, the first winners were the Miami girls. And then the second round, the winner was Candace. Yay. But why didn't they go and have Miami face off against Candace? Anyhow, game 3, spew it or chew it. This is where Portia asks all of the housewives questions. They could either answer honestly or they have to eat a scorpion. Pepsi steps in and says you can eat any part of the scorpion with the exception of the tail. Good Lord. Alexia is asked to rank her husbands sexually. Jesus. Why she always got to say, I don't like talking about my man because y'all might want to have sex with him? Nobody wants to have sex with your leftovers. Ex-con, a bisexual man with questionable taste, and Todd. Ew. No. Nobody wants her leftovers. Hold on. What is this? I love how Marisol sees how diabolical Whitney looks whenever someone calls out Heather. The Spanish parts I love because that's when she says her true feelings. Yeah, yeah. Portia doesn't have to answer anything. It's her game. Her and Giselle are the same damn thing. Oh my god, I can't stand them. So Alexia says she ranks Todd 1 because he's paying her currently. 2, Pedro. Why she called him baby daddy or whatever?
Right.
She call his name. Is she not allowed to use Pedro? And then 3, Herman. Okay. Then Candace is asked, would she marry, kill, or bang Monique Samuels? And Candace says that she would bang her to death. She is quick-witted. When she's having fun, I like what comes out of her mouth. But if it involves a triangle of death, sopping up water, I lose interest. Then Giselle is asked, which of the ladies would make the least on OnlyFans? And Giselle says Marisol only because she feels she understands it the least. How is that possible when you've got the queen of OnlyFans on her franchise and she's in PR? Like, Giselle, that didn't make any sense. I felt like that was age shaming. Because Marisol's the oldest out of all of them, isn't she?
I think she
Why
is.
Giselle is always doing that? Because basically, I think Giselle sees Marisol as the Karen of this group.
Hmm.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Okay, so next up, Leah. Um, Leah is asked which of the cast members from Roni season 13 should not be asked to participate in Legacy. And Leah is the first to grab the tray with the scorpions and she takes a bite. And we see her together in a confessional with Candace. And I actually like their dynamic together. It makes Leah more personable and a lot more comfortable in what she's doing. Um, and Candace is for once almost a mentor. So I kind of like the two of them together. But basically, Leah says that she's not in production. She doesn't do staffing. She's not saying anything about that. Um, but Candace says, agreed, same here, but Giselle should go. Whitney is asked, name 3 times that Heather has lied on camera. She says that what is going on between her and Heather, she has to address directly with Heather privately. So she takes a bite of a scorpion. Then Heather is asked, who gave you the black eye? Heather picks up a scorpion and eats it. Marisol is asked, who does she trust the least out of the current housewives on this trip? And she says it's Leah because Leah has thrown her under the bus at least 3 times already. Has she though?
Well, she told him about the text messages that Marisol sent her. I think there was one other thing, but I can't remember what it was. I just with Lee, I really don't pay attention because she's done so far is whine.
Mm.
I just kind of tune her out because she doesn't really when she's engaging in the conversation, it's minimal, and then it always seems to come back to her, and she'd like to talk about herself. Like she really paints herself as a victim while telling everyone else, you know, she's strong. It's just her. She's just weird to me on this show. She just doesn't fit.
Well, I think that's why they always bring in one that it doesn't seem to fit. You don't want everybody getting along. You just don't. Giselle is
True.
52. That's why I can't stand when she does that age shaming thing because there's only a few years between her and Karen.
Right.
And there's only a few years between her and Marisol. It's just ridiculous why she does that. Um, Stephanie loves Lee and Candace together. She said in confession room, why not when she was asked. Whitney can never say anything in the moment. In her confessional, she looks so proud of herself because she thinks it's making a moment hilarious and childish. Yep. Um, she don't engage much.
She,
Okay.
yeah, and I like Leah and Candace together. I like them together. Leah's actually engaged with Candace because she feels comfortable. You could
Mhm.
just see Leah's awkwardness because they ate her up the other episode and she just could not handle it.
Mhm.
And I don't understand I don't understand how Heather and Leah didn't understand what they were walking into. Like you've seen these, I'm sure you watched their seasons. You know how these women roll. You should have some idea how these women roll. It's not for the faint of heart. Like Portia said in her one of her confessional, she's like, I was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is just this this shit. This little shade is not really shade to me. I'm not worried about it.
You noticed that too. She had on the face paint. Her bra thing was the face paint of one of the guys from Kiss. And a pair of ratty jeans. I was like, Sometimes I like the quirkiness in how she dresses, and other times it takes me a minute to try and digest it. I don't know how I feel about that confessional look because I think I'm more scared that something slips out now that she has the added boobalage, but okay, so Auntie says Leah and Candace is great together. Separate, Leah is standoff.
And yeah, she
Mm.
is. She is. She doesn't feel
Okay.
comfortable. You can see, and with Leah, you can see that she's uncomfortable. And I think that's what kind of is like, oof.
Mm.
You could see that she's uncomfortable. And I'm not understanding. Let me take that back. I do understand why she's uncomfortable. I do because these women like they play housewives for keeps. And this is the thing with Leah. We have to
Mhm.
remember Leah got some soft seasons. Roni was on his way down and out. She wasn't there for
Mhm.
when it was Heather and Carol and Bethany and Aviva. They done ate her up,
Right, but
and I have to remember that.
here's the thing. I think Leah knows how to fight against a rich white woman, but she don't know how to fight against a black woman. Because I think things went real wrong with her and Ebony, and we just didn't get to see it. Because remember, after that season ended, like during the season, you thought that she was the biggest ally. But after the season, it went left and she went against Ebony. I think that's part of her discomfort.
Mm.
So, hmm,
Well,
I don't know.
it's just interesting. Like, no, you can say that, but even if we can give her a whole new cast. Like I said, bring back Jill, Bethany, who else? Heather, Aviva. She could like, and there was rich white women too. She couldn't handle them because they're quick witted. They got the coin, and they can be reckless with their mouth.
Yeah,
So
but she can say certain things regarding privilege to those women to try and shoot them down that she can't say to these. Like what I'm saying is she's like a one trick pony. She knows how to fight on New York, but she don't know how to fight anyplace else.
so basically, she can fight within her own bubble. Basically,
But here's the thing, she pretends like she's not part of one of them rich white women, but she is. That's the confusing thing with Leah for me.
it's because she's on the broke end of rich. That's why.
She ain't on no broke end of rich.
Yeah, come
Because
on
here's the
now.
reason why, because she has her own company. These most of them women
Doesn't
married
matter,
for theirs.
but they still
I
have more than she does.
but really though, because let's break it down though. Um, I think the person who I thought like I did see somebody say this.
Okay, here's the
Basically,
thing, Lee. I
Leah
just
is
looked it up.
Ramona. Leah is Ramona. So
Okay, but here,
she was fighting against herself there. So she was in a comfort zone. But does the Countess have any money? No. Does who else is on that
mm,
show?
I'm looking it up right now. Leah's worth 3.5. Luann is worth 25. Well, we know
I don't believe
Ramona's.
that. I don't
You don't
believe that.
believe?
No.
See,
Mm-mm.
Debbie wants to see the liquid. So here's Debbie. Here's how Debbie thinks. So and so has a net worth of such and such. Lion, show me the liquid assets in
Exactly.
their name. In
Don't
their
show me your art collection or what real estate you got because wasn't
name.
Bethany saying that she had to get Leanne and pay for Leanne into the rehab? Bitch, if you got 25 million, all the rehabs is opening the door and say, "Welcome, welcome. We will keep you addicted and keep you coming back for more rehab." Nope. Uh-uh. The only person on New York that I feel got real money, Bethany. The one
And Tinsley,
Bluestone Manor,
Dorinda.
Tinsley, Dorinda, Tinsley, the princess,
Oh, Carol.
the writer, Carol.
Carol.
Uh-huh. Who anybody else? Wait, Jill.
Yeah.
Jill got some coin. Jill got some coin, especially because she cashed in that insurance.
Auntie says Louise. See, Auntie, that's what Debbie was saying. That's why I said Debbie wants to see the liquid assets. She wants to see liquid in your name, not your husband's name, not what you as a an accountant.
I I think she got a few coins in the divorce, but I don't think she got that much. And then I think she squandered it because remember her children was suing her for financial mismanagement.
Yeah.
Remember? And then she bought that triangle house upstate.
No, the roundhouse.
Round, yeah,
It was the
whatever.
roundhouse.
Some sort of shape. And then had to sell it at a loss. And she bought out in the Hamptons, but sold in Manhattan. It wasn't making no sense at all. At all. And um you could tell the difference in her financial status from when we first saw her towards her latter seasons after she was the ex-countess, because let me tell you, the clothes will never tell a lie. When she first came on as the countess, them is some rich white women clothes. But then when she started getting her cabaret, who was borrowing clothes from that no-name designer that Dorinda was screaming out in the audience? She had to beg Dorinda to borrow clothes from Giovanni. If you got money, you ain't borrowing clothes from nobody. Or begging your
Stop.
friend who got money to get you clothes from Giovanni. No. Countess, Countess. Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
And then I just pull the win. She just and then like Sonia always made me mad because she fumbled the bag. I'm like, ooh, you don't
At
fumble the
least
Morgan
Sonia
bag.
admit that she broke and just living off a name.
Yeah.
And that's why I'll forever love Sonia. Anyway, Giselle thanks everybody for participating in Portia Name and tell everybody they got 45 minutes in which to get ready for her Mardi Gras dinner. And she's very excited about it. This is where we see the Miami Bobsey twins. They starting to bicker back and forth. Marisol's not feeling well, so she can't be the best of
Mhm.
roommates. Alexia is a bitch. She can't be the best of roommates. Um, and they're basically in a Jack and Jill room, sharing a bathroom. Good luck to
Mhm.
them. Next we get to the dinner. Everyone gets dressed, gets in the bus. A lot of action on these episodes happen in these two buses. Why they be talking about each other in the buses?
It's so hilarious.
Anyway, we get to the dinner. Everybody has on masks, their beads, they're dressed really cute. They have Giselle gives a rundown on the history of her family, where they come from, um, like the traditions of Mardi Gras with the king cake and the beads and all of that. It was really nice. And then it starts to rain, so they have to run inside. And then we have to play reasonably shady, and I'm so sick of this game. My God. Do we want to go through what she asked?
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, here's the thing. The questions weren't that they were funny. It was a fun game. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
But we can go through them real quick if you want to.
Okay, so Giselle asked if it's is it reasonable or shady if you're extremely sick and still spend time with the group? And Marisol says she rallies. I thought that was a good response. I mean,
Hmm.
they all figured out who these questions were about and they all
Right.
responded in kind. The next question um, is it reasonable or shady to take the credit for the success of another franchise, especially when yours was canceled? Alexia doubles down in her dumbness, and I just tuned out. Oh, but then she blamed Marisol and said that one particular word she wouldn't use that. That sounded like something that Marisol would say. And Marisol was like, "Wait, what? I got a license on words?"
Paid. Yeah, paid. I think the word was paid.
Yes. So I was just like, "Wow, okay." Next question is it reasonable or shady to call someone a bully when they're not being one? And Candace says it's reasonable. Both Giselle and Portia are bullies. And how they chose to address Leah at the earlier event highlights it. Um, why she can't ever just let sleeping dogs lie, but okay. The next question is it reasonable or shady to show your big ass in a thong? And Portia said, "Well, I got the biggest ass out of all of y'all," and said, "Yes, it's reasonable." Um,
She said, "Show is."
oh my god. The next question is it reasonable or shady to name a book title something that you don't believe in? And Heather says it's shady. Girl, this question was you.
Right. And I wanted to get to this one because this is what's interesting to me. Did you notice
Mhm,
that question? And that question struck me. Here's why.
mhm,
Heather talks about she's not Mormon, blah 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 blah. But you title your book that you're a bad Mormon, so you're still identifying as Mormon. I'm gonna start there. Then remember, she's talking to the group. I can't remember who was there. She's like, I don't spend my money there. I don't endorse them. I don't go to church. She's like, I don't do all these things. But yet you still use the fact of Mormon to promote your book. Number one. Number two, you're still holding on to your husband's name. With I'm going to give her a pass on that. I understand.
she's got young
Yeah,
children.
yeah, yeah. You have younger children, but you're even when they get older, you're never going to give up that name because you understand the legacy of that name. Quit playing these type of games. Let's call a thing a thing. I would do the same thing. Sorry,
Mhm,
$1 billion family steeped in royal Mormon royalty. Call a thing a thing though. Call a thing a
mhm,
thing. Quit playing these type of games. And what was the third point? Oh shoot. Well, anywho, she's still holding those ties of Mormonism because it benefits her. We
mhm,
may not see the benefit. We, the audience, may not see the benefit, but there's a benefit to it. And this is why Whitney calls her a hypocrite because
mhm,
Whitney comes from that. They come from the same family, and their own family is prominent. But what Whitney is saying is, I'm willing to actually show that I'm cutting ties, and I've been going through these stages. She's all, I'm
mhm,
not just talking the talk; I'm walking the walk. Heather is straddling both sides of the fence.
mhm. Um,
Ryan, yep,
well, yeah, I
yep,
was highlighting, but here's the thing. Auntie is saying that Heather is still paying the church if her name is still on the list. I think she pretends to leave the church. I think what I'm going to throw this out there. Isn't one of her daughters associated with the church? Or like she's allowing her daughters to pick and choose what religious path they want to go down.
yes, that's their
Now,
choice. Yes,
if one of her daughters wants to go into the church, I think it would behoove her ex-husband to keep on continuing paying for her to stay on the roll and she to
correct.
stay on the roll on behalf of the one child that might want to go into it. So I can and Ryan is right. Her whole identity is about being Mormon, but not only that, a bad Mormon. And she's making money off of this. So this is
Mm-hmm.
financially benefiting her. So why
Mm-hmm.
should she leave? Just make them kick you out if it's such a problem for them. I don't
But,
blame
He-
her for not leaving.
but Heather is making her name and her notoriety off of being a bad Mormon and being excommunicated and
Mm-hmm.
being shunned. That's how she can.
Yeah.
That's how she presented herself to the audience when we first met her.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's happening is through the show, things are coming out. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where Whitney has the problem.
Yeah, because Whitney then asks her where Heather is in her journey of leaving the church. And Heather gets defensive and says that's a non issue. I'm like, why are you so defensive? Something
Right. It
ain't
was
adding
important.
up.
It was important when Whitney was going through it, but it's not important for you.
Because
Oh,
Heather has no intention of ever leaving the church.
oh, for real. And did you hear about what happened between her and her sister? What her sister said. Remember, the season two, we met her sister, and she hadn't
Mm-hmm.
talked to her sister in many many moons. Come to find out, her sister said Heather's a fraud, and they haven't spoken since that taping.
Because it only benefited Heather to speak to her sister because she was being paid for it. But otherwise, like, she ain't gonna
Exactly.
talk to her sister
Right.
because her sister is full on excommunicate, right?
Yes. Fully gone.
Mm-hmm. Girl, I don't know. There's something messy there. But anyway, everybody is bored with the Whitney and Heather fight about religion.
Hmm.
Next, the okay, Candace is bored. Marisol has no idea what's going on, and Portia is just like, okay, you're bad Mormons. Okay, like everybody's done with this.
Candace,
Last
Candace,
question.
Candace was like, real quick. Candace was like, stay or go. Pick, do something.
It's crazy though. It's crazy. So the last question is it reasonable or shady to play reasonably shady? And they all say yes, it's reasonable and shady, blah blah blah. It's a nice way to end off the game. Um, they decide to cut into the king cake, and Marisol is looking for the baby.
Right?
And then they find out that there is no baby. And Marisol's a little disappointed because I think the baby represents prosperity or something like that, or good luck.
Peace, peace,
And
peace and prosperity for the upcoming year.
right, so Marisol says that the king cake sounds a lot like her uterus. It's never going to have a baby in there. Oh my god! Best zinger of the episode. Oh my god! So in the van ride back to the villa. Portia want to know why every time we going somewhere, Heather and Whitney got to go and start arguing about religion. And then when they get back into the van, they pretend like
Give me
nothing
2 seconds.
happened. Hmm. Let's see. Giselle agrees about it. The Portia and Giselle van, they are like fed up with the other van, but yet they still want to know what's going on in the other van. Back in bus 2, um oh my god, Leah starts asking the ladies if they've ever done anal. Heather says she's never done it. um Whitney says, um I don't know what Whitney says. I don't know what she says, but I'm sure she's tried. Candace says it hurts. Even with the little penis that she tried it with, it hurts. Oh
No,
my
Whitney
God.
said, I think Whitney said, don't try it or
She
something. I think
doesn't
Whitney said,
recommend it.
yeah, she's
Well,
a healthy recommend.
Justin's a big dude. Can you imagine what he putting behind her? Oh my God. I won't recommend it neither. Sorry. Um, we get back to the house. Giselle thanks everybody for coming to her event, blah, blah, blah. Whitney goes straight to the confessional, sits down, and says, the 3 lies that Heather has told on camera. 1, she knows how she got her black eye. 2, she was never friends with Lisa Barlow. And 3, she's never left the Mormon church. The masks are gonna come off, and they're gonna get to the bottom of her lies. Why you couldn't say that in front of her face though?
That always makes that see when these confessionals come out like this, it makes me wonder what was left on the cutting room floor.
Because here's the
And
thing,
then
at that dinner, Whitney said that she needed to talk to Heather privately to go through
yes,
their issues, but yet you go into the confessional and do this. And this is why I think both of them are lying and both of them are no better than the other one. Period.
here's the thing. I don't think they're both lying,
I do.
but what I will say is when he's not putting everything on the table. I'll put it this way. I wonder why Whitney's not putting everything on the table. That's the biggest question I have because I feel Heather ducks and dodges the questions if we're being honest. But when Whitney answers, when Whitney's asked a question, I've noticed that she'll start the answer like she'll be ready to answer, but then something in her mind says don't say anything, and I want to know
Mhm.
why. I want to know
Oh,
why.
I just realized something. Do you notice that she didn't mention that Heather was lying about the Lisa Barlow giving head for tickets?
Hmm.
So she just admitted that she was lying about that gossip and not Heather.
Which one? I know she
Where she said that Lisa Barlow got seats for the Jazz game by giving head, and that Heather was there and heard the gossip from Angie. And Heather said,
right.
I don't remember hearing that at all. And Whitney was saying she was lying. Now, if that was a lie, you should have called that out.
No, what Whitney was saying is Whitney's saying Heather is lying about what she heard because here's the thing: they were at the game, all and all that good stuff. Angie spoke the rumor.
Mhm,
Whitney is saying we were both there. Heather
mhm.
is saying no, I wasn't.
No, Heather
I
said,
didn't
I
hear
never
the
heard that. I never heard
right,
that.
right.
But if Heather was lying, she should have said that's one of the times that she was lying.
That's one of the ones. Yeah, that's one of the ones. But for some
Yeah.
reason, she's conveniently picking Lisa Barlow. That's going to be the storyline for next season. The not leaving the Mormon church,
Mhm,
basically they're calling Heather out for her hypocrisy on the grand scale. Basically, she's calling Heather a full-fledged fraud in front of the world. She
mhm.
picked those three things she picked. She picked them for specific reasons. The rumor about Lisa Barlow, that's small potatoes and to compare to the other ones, in her opinion.
So she's trying to call her out as a complete and utter fraud and shatter everything that she's built up over these 3 seasons.
Yes, because when she's really mad, we have to go back to this. She is pissed that Heather has been more of a friend to Jen Shaw, who's
Mhm,
lied and defrauded and going to jail,
mhm,
than she has been to her, and they are family. That's the That's the core issue with these two. It's a feeling of lack of loyalty on both sides. So in Whitney's mind, like I think in Whitney's head, she's like, "Look, I've tried to come to you. I've tried to talk to you. I've tried to tell you how I feel." And in this show, she said Heather does not listen. So at this point,
mhm,
what Whitney is saying, like, you know what? Since you refuse to listen to me, I'm just going to shatter your whole persona. I'm just going to lay it all out there and just come for you. That's
mhm,
what it is. Because I'm similar to a degree, but when I feel like you're not going to listen to me, I just leave you alone. But they're family, and Heather's continuing to double down on this persona. If you notice, and the
mm,
key and what stuck out to me is that conversation she had with Giselle, and Giselle said,
mhm,
like, so you remain loyal to someone that lied to you,
mhm.
blatantly lied, and Heather's like, yeah. And then remember, let's flash forward. Remember that. Now we're gonna flash forward. Was it Giselle is like, you are gonna ride for your friend? Was it Giselle or Whitney that said you're gonna ride for your friend to their detriment?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and she says yes. I remember that. So Stephanie says Lisa's her new friend. She doesn't care about Heather anymore. Wit is just trying to prove Heather's a liar. And then Alex Flores says, "Hi, Alex, welcome." The secret informant comes from the third season. It was Heather
Ah,
trying to be funny.
the season I didn't watch. Okay, thank you, Alex. I was not like I have not heard that one.
Yeah, I just skipped over it because. Mm-mm-mm. Um, yeah, I dropped out. We dropped out after the. I don't think we made it to the second episode. Did
I don't remember.
we?
I don't remember watching the first episode.
We reviewed
Wait a
the
minute,
first
we did.
episode.
We sure did, and I
We were,
couldn't do
but
it.
then, okay, I couldn't continue because I wasn't feeling comfortable with Whitney's journey. And it 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 was a little, I don't want to say triggering for me, but it was very uncomfortable, and I couldn't watch it anymore. So I asked Jamal if we could drop it. That was the honest truth. Um y'all watched all season. Y'all don't feel like cheated from Salt Lake City? Like I might watch it next season if Mary's coming back. They said that she's filming.
I saw that. I think with Salt Lake
Mm.
City, I think too much of the story came out about Jen Shaw before the season. So I was like, this is not going to be anything. It's going to be a nothing burger.
Oh
But
yes, and Jen kept on saying how innocent she was,
yeah,
and she had admitted guilt. Oh yeah, that was
yeah,
another reason why.
yeah,
Oh, fool.
yeah. That was the main. That was for me. That was the main. That was the main.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. Yeah, like I remember what did it in for me. Remember when they went to I think it was Arizona for Jen, before she went to
Yes,
New York. And they were in that house, that Airbnb, where Whitney met with some brothers or sisters that she had. And the
yes,
brother, especially what he was saying, was really off putting to me. I couldn't deal with it. And then the way how the sister was looking, I was like, what the hell happened to this girl? I was like, I'm out. I'm out. I was
for me,
very uncomfortable.
it was with those for me those weren't that triggering. But what kind of was off putting is that in my mind, I go back to if y'all two knew, who else knew?
You mean the
And
brother
for
sister?
me, yes, if y'all two knew, who else knew?
Mhm.
So it was Stephanie hit the nail on the head. It
Yes.
was deep and not enough context. It was strange.
They were saying stuff, but yet dancing around it, and it was
Hmm.
making me go down a rabbit hole. But I had to pull myself out. I was like, "But wait, but they didn't say anything to confirm this."
Right,
And they were tiptoeing around a subject that I did not want to deal with.
right.
Ugh. It
Like
wasn't that
I'm
much about Whitney after that episode? Seriously? Oh my god. I don't know. I just didn't like that meetup. I didn't. I was very uncomfortable. I didn't like it. Mm-mm.
okay. I feel like Heather knows something. Auntie. Now I'm not sure if this was this third season,
Mhm.
but I remember Whitney talking to Heather about this, and it struck me when Heather said, "Just you." Am I remembering that correctly?
Was that at a dinner?
It was them two talking, but I'm not sure where they were.
Because I saw a clip where they were at a dinner, and of course, Whitney is trying to verbalize something, and her communication skills are very like immature. Um, and she was dragging it out too much, and again skirting around what she really wanted to say, aggravating me. And the look that Heather gave her, to me, read like she didn't believe her.
I think it was like just you. I think that was
Mm-mm.
that could have been whether if you go and she's just because Whitney's on this side on the right, Heather's
Mm-hmm.
on the left. Whitney said what happened, and then Heather looks at her like this and says, "Just you?" And I'm like, "Huh? What?"
So if she said just you, does that mean that one, do you remember you were the only one being abused in or around your family or community, or was I somehow like, you're not the only one who was abused, I was too?
Based on my experience with people who've gone through some sort of trauma, it this kind of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when someone asks just you, typically that means that person has heard other things about other people.
Mm. Okay,
Like
so Stephanie
I've heard
says,
this,
mhm.
yeah, about like I've heard this about not about you but other people, and you're trying to get information to confirm what you've heard.
Okay. Stephanie says that the whole trip, I'm assuming this is the Arizona trip, was about Whitney and her memories popping up
Hmm.
that she suppressed. And then Auntie says, involved families close to Heather to me. What? I might have read that wrongly.
Basically Whitney's trauma involves families that are close to Heather,
Oh, but they're family. Like,
but they're I think they're on opposite. They're basically their family, and Heather said this. Um, I want to say it's Heather's great grandfather, and
his
Whitney's
sister.
great great grandmother were brother and sister.
Sister, yeah, yeah. So Stephanie says Heather was annoyed that she was making the trip about her. Yes, because this was supposed to be a trip about Jen. And you know,
Jen,
Heather rides for Jen,
right?
but Jen left by the time that meeting with the brothers and sisters had happened. Is that right? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember.
I can't either.
But if Jen left, who cares? You know? Heather needs to stop sycophanting with Jen Shaw before she wind up as a cellmate of Jen Shaw.
Hmm.
Stephanie says, I think Heather didn't want Whitney to say who the person was. Ooh. Oh dear.
Which means Heather knows something, which is why she said just you, and that's where
Yeah.
my mind went. Mm.
Auntie agrees. She says totally Heather did not want the name to be dropped. Oh, child. That's a mess. But why bring that up on the show? Like, I got the feeling they couldn't even properly talk about it for legal reasons.
Okay, so it's not just me.
That's a serious allegation, especially if it's never been addressed previously. That's a serious allegation. And y'all fucking around with that on this show. Uh-uh.
Cause y'all can say no names, no relation, no nothing.
They needed to focus on Whitney being the breadwinner of her family and Justin losing his job because of their chocolate body painting sex thing last season, and her developing her skincare business
Hmm.
and trying to recoup all of that money that she took from Justin and his
Right.
children. That's what they should have focused on, and not this uncomfortable subject, because then I probably would have continued watching this season. Oh my God, especially if it's people from the church. So you not only got this one individual or individuals who you're claiming something bad happened to you, but
Hmm.
then if they're in the church, you're pulling the church down into this too. And you know the Mormon church very litigious. So I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird and incomplete and led people to
Hmm.
have assumptions that
And
if you're
and
like
to,
me, we're just going all the way wrong.
and to Stephanie's point, this would explain her vigor in leaving the church completely.
Mhm. Mhm.
L- Like
Uh,
Whitney was so adamant that she signed these papers to get off the roll.
mhm.
Heather's not in that space, so it kind of makes sense.
Yep. What a hot mess. Well, that was the end of the 2 episodes. So it was season 3, episode 3, Don't Rock the Boat, and season 3, episode 4, Dangerous Games. We will catch up next week. We will be covering episode 5 and 6.
Yep.
So we will be caught up by next week. Is what's the other show we watch?
Brother Husband.
Brother Husband. Is that coming on this Sunday? Let it come on Easter Sunday.
Right.
If it doesn't come on, we'll do episode 5 and 6 separately in our regular slots on Thursday and Friday. If it does come on, we'll have something extra to talk about. I did see something. Okay, so we've been talking about MILF Manor. I wish I could remember the name of the young man that I watch on his channel. He found For the Love of DILF, and it's with the
Oh,
but it's a twist. Okay, it is with gay men. A daddy DILF looking for his little hot pocket twink, and the host of the show is Stormy Daniels.
oh my gosh.
Wait, let me see if I can find the name of this thing. Hold on.
What is going on with these
I
people?
don't know. Wait, where is it? Jesus Christ. I watched it. I really did. Oh, here it is. Film Cooper is the name of the YouTube channel. And the title of his episode is They Actually Made DILF Manor. And it's the thumbnail says hosted by Stormy Daniels. And the men are gay. And one of the men, he's like a bear. He's a bear. So he has this big long beard, and he is a sex worker. He consults on adult films. He is paid to have sex, and his intro line is, "Are you comfortable with this? Because we don't need to go any further if you're not." And his little twink says, "Oh my God, it's a fairy tale."
This is.
It's very interesting. I have
What?
no idea where this show it comes on.
Amazon Prime.
Oh my God.
I think it's Amazon Prime.
I'm gonna go there this evening. But yeah, Film Cooper. He's a cute young man, very entertaining, and I've been watching his reviews of MILF Manor and stumbled across this. So Jamal, you can take a look at that.
This is a whole mess. I'm looking at the cast. I'm like, this is a whole mess. Like, what people do for and they're called himbos. What? And the young men arrive at different episodes. Like one dude came in episode 2. Like, are they eliminating like the himbos after each episode and bringing in new himbos? Is this what we're doing?
Okay. So if you guys take a look at it, Jamal says it's on Amazon Prime. If you guys take a look at it and you want us to talk about it, let us know and we'll talk about it. Anyone see that trailer for the new movie with a bunch of housewives on it? No. What? Wait, what? There's a movie with a bunch of housewives in it? Are they really trying to hook these people up with SAG cards? Oh, the path that Nene Leakes has trailed for these women. Sorry, has paved for these women. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so
Okay, wait.
uh-huh.
So the producer
Mm-hmm.
and see one of the producers. I have to like do my research. This is insane. I am not mad because we had Milk Manor, but this is just a whole mess. This is a whole mess.
Jamal, I feel like I've actually like shocked you.
Well, like you, in theory, like shows like this would exist, like because if you can do, if you could, okay, it's equal opportunity. If women
Mm-hmm.
can have their show, men can have theirs. But it's like, and we know it goes on. It's not that deep, but it's more like
Mm-hmm.
to put yourself in these kind of positions. It's like, okay, do
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do. It's just like you know, it's just amazing. Like we remember, like we said with Milk Manor, it's amazing what people will do for to be on any kind of on any kind of screen.
Mm-hmm. Ciao.
And my whole thing is, like, and it's not to be mean, like you're like so you're a sex worker, cool,
Mm-hmm.
but like for me, I would think that you wouldn't have an issue meeting someone that you need, you know, because you meet a lot of different people from different walks of life. I would think someone in that position can find someone because like you probably find someone who's into the same things you're into, probably in the same line of work. So it would be kind of easier than versus putting yourself on a reality TV show because to me it opens you up to users, for a lack of a better word. That's all.
Mm.
But anywho, I have to read all the bios because this is I just scrolled through a article. I'm like, really? Okay.
So, yes, we are going further down the rabbit hole with this mess. And thanks so much for joining us today. Our old friends, our new friends, we really appreciate you in the live chat. Looking forward to your comments below. Thank you for the people who have recently joined our little family. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week for whatever shows decide to come on during Easter week. Everybody have a wonderful Easter, Passover, Ramadan. Stay safe.
Hmm.
Jamal, have we covered everything?
Yes, and more.
Sorry. Um, until next time.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Bye.